Hello everybody and welcome to Sofa Summit 3. This session specifically is all about building materials. So just going to get into it. So good morning, and for the next short period of time you'll be with myself. So the topic for this morning's Sofa Summit 3 webinar is lay the foundation for a better building materials business. So this is very much about if you're an organization that is selling building products, materials into merchants, into development sites, into kind of the social housing industry, etc. Then from our perspective, this is for you. So whether you are distributing, making and distributing, this is about how Microsoft Dynamics 365 building material solution from Techman can help you get a better return out of what you do as a business. So I'm Jason, and I'm one of the team at Techman, and I have a speciality in working with businesses in the building materials sector. So I'll be the one taking you through this webinar, and if there's any questions, happy to take them towards the end, and a colleague will keep an eye on any messages in the chat as well. So just some housekeeping. Hopefully you can all hear me. If not, put that in the chat. Hopefully everything is also clear. We've got an hour, but we will finish a bit before then, just to ensure that there's some time for questions or anything else that you want to go into. And as I said, feel free to ask along the way, and we'll keep track of everything, and we'll make sure we get everything answered as well for you. So let's get going. So what are we going to cover? I'm going to give you a little bit of a bit of background around Dynamics building materials and what that is and what that means. Some industry challenges, so hopefully some things that you will resonate with. Then we'll go into a bit of a demo and discussion around some areas, one being EDI, second product traceability, and thirdly, real-time visibility as well. And then in summary, we'll just recap on what we've seen, take any questions and wrap up. So everything that I'm talking about today, the backbone, the foundation to the offering and the solution is from Microsoft. So Microsoft are the owners, authors of Dynamics 365, and specifically we will be talking around the background application, the backbone, which is Business Central, which you may formally know as Dynamics NAV. So Dynamics building materials. So at Techman, we're very much specialists in certain industries and sectors, and one of those is building materials, building products. So, and it's very much a case of us having a solution, offering an experience, being able to deliver to industries and organizations like yourselves. So, like I say, if you're making extruding PVC and then making windows, doors, etc., or if you're buying in bathroom hardware, or you're making, for example, drainage, or you're making roofing, or you're making cavity spacers, etc., etc., you get the idea. But these are the type of companies that we work with. And what makes the solution Dynamics building materials-esque? What are we doing that is bringing our knowledge and expertise and our functionality on top of standard Microsoft? And in short, you can see that there's some phrases, buzzwords, etc., that very much fit your industry. So whether that be samples, whether it be OTIF reporting, whether it be managing project leads, house builder kits, warranties, EDI, you kind of get the idea. In the middle, you've got Dynamics as the core structure with different functionality. that is the backbone, and then around the kind of the outer circle as such, you've got the additional functionality setup configuration that makes it specific for your industry. So from that perspective, you can get true value about a solution that is very much designed and configured for you and how you work in your industry. Some of our customers, so opposed to just saying that this is what we do and we have a track record, these are some of the customers that we have a track record with. So some names that you may recognize: Persimmon, for example, we work with entities within the Persimmon group. Alimask again, Epwin again, Biarzi, obviously they renowned for boilers, for example. British Steel is a well-known name. So there's a variety, whether it's flooring, whether it's windows, whether it's drainage. There's a vast variety of customers that we have at Techman under the Dynamics Building Materials banner. So one of the first challenges that we see in your industry is that the electronic data interchange, EDI, the transmission of messages from your suppliers to you or you to your customers, and vice versa. And the idea is that in today's world, typically a lot of the merchants want to eradicate the manual orders coming into you and the manual invoices going out to them. They also want to understand ASNs, so advanced shipping notices, what they're going to receive, perhaps on what pallet, on what day, so they know what they're about to receipt in and how. So the idea is that this electronic messaging speeds up the process, reduces manual intervention, and in short, reduces error. Again, somebody writes on a piece of paper a 6 but doesn't quite get it right and somebody thinks it's an 8. Somebody writes a 1 and it looks a bit like a 2. Again, you get the idea. You want to make sure that you've got accurate data being put into your system to then make sure that you deliver right for your customers, or you're getting the right supply from your suppliers. So how many hours do you currently spend manually entering orders, manually managing invoices to then go and send out in a manual PDF to your customer? Being honest, we've also seen, and it continues to happen, and even so much so that we've seen it during the COVID-19 lockdown kind of scenario and time, is that customers and merchants and customers for building materials companies are saying, well, if you want to trade with us, you can only trade with us via EDI. So that means that there's been a bit of a mad dash, and there seems to be sometimes a mad dash to get it done, to make sure that you don't lose potential revenue and, of course, profit from working with those customers. Alternatively, is that those customers may not force you to do it. However, as part of the commercial negotiation of working with them, if you don't use EDI, they will negotiate a agreed margin with you to sell your products. However, they will then add a penalty or admin charge if you are unable to trade via EDI. So your margin is getting smaller. So again, EDI not only automates the process, it also enables you to keep your margins as high as possible and eradicate errors. So from our perspective, if you're not doing EDI at the moment, why aren't you? It's very much a case of, if you can, get your messages electronic and get your process automated. So again, in terms of the type of messages that you can send, so you can see here, you've got your business that's smack bang in the middle. You've then got your customers and your suppliers. You can see there is a variety of messages that you can send, whether it's to a third-party warehouse, whether it's to your customer, whether it's to managing an order, whether it's to managing an invoice, whether it's to managing a debit note. again, the idea is that this is all electronic messaging that can be controlled in an automated way out of your system. So that means that your people can spend more time focusing on adding value to your customer relationships in different ways, opposed to just being administration. In terms of the types of messages, so EDI, there's a lot of formats to EDI and how messages come from different systems. Your customers may have different message files or message types and file types to send to you, and then you accept into your system, and then you have to send out. You need to be able to map these accordingly to make sure the automation happens and it works first time. So in terms of a mapping and what happens, without going into the devil in the detail, this is on the left hand side is one system, on the right hand side is another system. You can see that, for example, left hand side is customer supplier, and then on the right hand side you've got supplier, and you're mapping which field, which data is going to end up where. So the idea is that that mapping service just makes and understands what data should be where, so when it gets sent out, it understands where it needs to land, and vice versa. So the idea is that's what helps you make it automated, because this is doing the grunt of the work for you. So the first thing that you understand is that when a message comes in, it lands into your system waiting for a review or approval. In terms of EDI, we can see that there's a lot of businesses out there that use EDI, that request the use of EDI. These are just some of them that we've got EDI set up with, that's using the EDI service as part of the Dynamics Building Materials solution. Again, you can see some very well-known names on here. I'm aware that during lockdown, we've just also done one for SIG PLC as well with one particular customer. And my knowledge is that they're also asking that this is the way that we would like you to trade with us. So again, it's been a motion that has taken a shift over a number of years. It's now becoming more default to trade via EDI than not. So the idea is that you've got to be on this path essentially for the future. If you're not, you're either going to make less money or you're going to make potentially no money out of certain customers because they just won't trade with you. So from our perspective, I'm just going to quickly show you in terms of what an EDI message looks like. For the purpose of time today, I'm not going to show you exactly the incomings and outgoings and how that works, but we can go through that another time, and I'm aware that there are other building materials webinars from TechMan, and including from myself, that does go into some of the demos around how you accept the message in, and you can decide whether it is accepted, rejected, whether it's been validated, etc. But the idea is that it comes into Business Central. It doesn't go anywhere else. The idea is you're not using a third-party system. It's very much inside of the system for you to understand, accept, reject, etc. So the idea is you're not having to go and pay a third party for a set of EDI services and then manage another supplier. With Dynamics Building Materials and using EDI and Business Central, you've got a single supplier, a partner in ourselves that will manage the process with your customer or your supplier around EDI. But in terms of an EDI message, for those that haven't seen EDI messages before, again, this is just a typical example of an EDI message. Everything in black is a piece of data that is going to be accepted, and the pieces that are in red is the structure. So again, it's the idea is that each of those structures will be mapped accordingly between systems, and it's our expertise to know how that works. So going back onto the second aspect, and it's where we start to go into some of the product and some of the demos now. So product traceability. So what does product traceability add and give to a building materials business like you? So having traceability allows you to understand the quality of your stock. It allows you to also understand and provide customer loyalty and drive profitability. So how do we do that? What really drives some of those kind of outcomes, those benefits? But the idea is that if you're giving customer confidence by being able to say your product is traceable, you can then offer a warranty off the back end of it. And the idea is that you can ensure that there's the right level of quality around your product. So if there was ever a batch issue, you can understand who else it's been out to. You can be proactive around a service. If you've issued and built some made some windows, it's got a faulty latch on it. The idea is that you can understand out of that latch and that batch of those latches where they've been shipped to, be proactive with your customer base and go and do something about it, either replace it, fix it, etc. But the idea is that you've got that peace of mind offering with your customer that you can be proactive in that shape and form. Again, customer loyalty is if somebody understands that you have a level of traceability across your supply chain and your production runs, is that's going to add a peace of mind to your customers to say that you care about the quality of the products that you're shipping out. And again, it's the case of that it may not change your process of how you make, but if you have that level of traceability in somebody's head and a customer's head, they're willing to pay a bit more money for it as well. So again, it's one of those USPs that you can offer. But at the same time, that gives you and requires a level of additional setup in any system and an additional level of management. And you, to be able to get that level of profitability, to ensure customer loyalty is managed successfully and easily, you need to be able to do that in a system quickly and efficiently, not spend hours trying to trawl through data to understand what was traceable, where it came from, what purchase order it was on, etc. So within product traceability, if we go into Business Central, I'm just going to load it up on here for it. On Business Central, we've got this ability here around to look into our items. So this is just the front screen. If I was to click in the kind of the looking glass and I just go items, and I click on items here, like my item list. See, this is a demo system, but I'm going to go back to my trusty fire door. My fire door is set up. I can see I've got some inventory. I can see that I've also put on here, I've got lot tracking set up on this door as well. So every time I was to issue it at the door, I would say, what lot have I issued out to a customer? If I was lot receiving any of the materials upon receipt, I'd receipt the lots in and say what's been consumed, etc. So let's say I've gone and sold some fire doors, but I also need to understand, because it seems like there is a bit of a problem with some rust on some of the handle, or some problem with some of the quality of the metal that's decided to rust in the corner, for example, on the corner of the door. Again, you can think of other scenarios which may cause a problem to the products that you sell. But if I want to go and trace of where I got the raw material from, when I got it, who else I sold it to, if I clicked on item tracing in the system, so this gives me a screen that allows me to look at a product that has either a lot number or a serial number, and it allows me to say where I've sold it, where I've bought it, etc. All the transactions that it's been involved with in the system, and by date. So if I just can see that my fire door has that product number, and I go process and I go trace, Bear with me a second. Sorry. Help if I clicked on the right item and put it in the right field. My apologies. Try again. Trace. There we go. So what this has done, I've got this item number, and then what that has done is that's provided me where in the system this item number has had elements of lot traceability transacted. So I can see that I've had item ledger entries for this item number, that I've got lots 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. But importantly as well, I've got a sales shipment from a sales order here where I have sold and shipped lot number 16, and I've shipped it out the door. Now, if I was to click on here and I can see line and I can go show document, it will tell me that I have gone and sold and shipped a fire door, 4 pieces at lot 16, lot number 16, out to a Datum corporation on kind of, that's April, it's American data, but April 2020. And it was shipped out on April, 4th of April, 6th of April 2020. And that's who it was shipped to. So again, I can get to any area back to the system. If that was originally part of a purchase order, I can say when I purchased it as well and who I purchased it from. So it's trying to see and be able to go through traceability in the system to understand the source, but also who else it was sold to, if there is an impact to any other customers as well. So hopefully that covers a bit around item tracing very quickly. It's just designed to give you a little bit of a snippet of some of the functionality that is available within the system. We're then going to move on to the second part of product traceability, is service items. So again, product traceability is about peace of mind. It's about making sure that customers feel comfortable that you're giving the right level of quality to the products that you're issuing out the door. The next aspect to product traceability and adding value to customers and driving profitability and a USP, etc., is warranties, guarantees. So if you're selling a boiler, if you're selling a door, if you're selling some windows, etc., and you want to be able to say, I will offer you a 1-year guarantee, 5-year guarantee, 10-year guarantee, that's fine. The idea is that what you actually hope is that you sell that product and you issue the warranty, but you never get a call on it. And that means that the product's been at the right quality and you've essentially made the most amount of profit possible out of that product. But how do you understand, how do you ensure that you can track what warranties that you have in place, and whether, if somebody tries to make a claim, whether they're making a valid warranty or guarantee claim? Because the last thing that you want is to be servicing something or fixing something or replacing something that is out of warranty, because that's just going to cost you even more, and it is also lost revenue. So going back into the system, if I go back to here and I click service item, and just to give you a little bit of background here, is that a service item is a type of item in the system inside of the solution. So, but a service item can be created once I've sold an item. So in this instance, I have put an order on for a fire door. I have then made it. I have then shipped it out of the door to a particular customer. And then as a result, I've also created a service item out of it because I want to be able to track it for warranty purposes. So here I've got my trusty fire door again. And you can see that if I click on this service item of the fire door and open the record, I can see that on here, my fire door is the description. I can see that it's actually installed now. I can see that the description is fire door. It's got a high priority on it. As it's a fire door, if there was a warranty claim on it, we want to be able to deal with it as a high priority. The starting date of the actual warranty is the 22nd of April. So again, you can see that I sold the product on the 6th of April. Clearly, it's had some time to be installed, so the warranty now starts on the date that it's actually fully been installed and is working, i.e. it's functional, it's offering value to the customer. Again, I've offered a warranty start date of labour as well as parts, and a very similar start date. And also, I've said that 100% of parts are covered and 100% of labour is covered out of any warranty claims for the period of 1 year that I've been put in place for this product that I've sold. I've also been able to say that if there's ever a problem, the person that is an expert within my organisation is Mark. So if I ever need to go and create a service order to go and check, investigate and fix, address the problem of the warranty claim, I would prefer if I can, to be able to assign Mark to that activity. Again, I can leave it blank and I can just give anybody that job if needed. I can also see that the customer here, but I can also see that shipping here, if it was where it was actually shipped to. Because what you might do is you might have the ability where the customer says, I want this fire door, but actually I bought it, but it's going to go and be shipped at a completely different location. The last thing that you want to see is turn up for a warranty claim at the wrong location. So it's important to be able to record where it's been installed as well. So again, that's from a service item point of view, and warranty guarantee is that you're storing the data all within inside the same solution. You can see that what the warranty period is if a customer's out of it once they've made the claim, and from our perspective, be able to look at the history post that warranty period ending for those items. How many times was there a warranty kind of claim? How many times did you have to put cost and time into fixing or addressing it? And then you can look back and go, how much money have we made? So we might have sold the product for this amount with included warranty. But if we've then had to go and service that item and fix a particular part of the hinge or a connection within the lock, for example, of that door, then that's time, that's cost, it might be a part. And then you look back on it at the end of the warranty period and go, well, did we actually make any money? Because if we didn't, there's a problem. Unfortunately, you're selling product, you're having to go out and fix it and add parts to it. And what you think that you made money on initially, by the end of the warranty period, you haven't. So the idea is that, have you got a problem with the actual start of the making process and the parts that you're using to make the finished product, and you need to address the supply chain? Or is it a case of that you're putting a warranty period on it that is not realistic? It's too much, too long, you're adding too many things to the warranty. It's a nice USP, but it's not making you any money, etc. So again, it's not just about the USP of offering the warranty and offering another peace of mind to the customer, but it's also being able to look back on it and go, in the system, did we make any money? Because clearly that's what a lot of us are here for, is to ensure that we make a profit, we pay the wages, and we make a nice bit of money at the end of it as well. So that's service items. So we just go back to the presentation. The final one is real-time visibility. So from our perspective, what a building materials business also needs to do, whether you are just buying and selling, or whether you are actually making the product or buying something in, changing the product or adding to it in a light manufacturing sense, but you need to have visibility of what's on that shop floor. You need to understand what the stock levels are, where it is, and be able to then not be able to lose stock, not be able to misplace stock, and essentially know that when you're offering a customer that you can make something or you can ship something out the door, you're not going to disappoint them 2 hours later because all of a sudden it's gone missing out of the warehouse. Importantly, again, the solution is integrated. So from the moment you've got a sales order on the system, from the moment that you've got a purchase order, the moment that you've got a production order, the moment that you've got a pick for the warehouse, it's all in one database. It's all together. So if you do one thing, it can affect something else. So again, the key thing is you have to understand how it knits together, but at the same time, you're not having to worry about updating manual disparate systems. So you've got real-time visibility. So one aspect of this is Clever MES. Clever MES is a shop floor data capture solution. The shop floor data capture solution is a web page that's put on a tablet, whether it be an Android tablet or a Windows device, etc. Whether it's touchscreen or an actual terminal, it doesn't matter. It's your choice. The idea is that you would go in, you would select the job, be told what you're about to work on, give you instructions, start and stop. And as soon as you've output, it updates the main system. So you real time understand what's going on. But at the same time, you are able to say why you stopped, why you scrapped certain product, who did it, and give more kind of traceability and visibility to the process. You can then look at your standard timings of what you think it takes to make something, look at the last 40, 50, 20, however many times that you made that product. Are your actual averages on the actuals in line with what you believe the standard times were? If not, you can go and update them. That updates the actual costs of the product if you put in labor rates and costs into it, as well as consumption of raw material. You can decide whether you want to backflush raw material because, well, we use that all the time. The nuts and the bolts, you don't really want to worry about, I've used 4 bolts this time, not 5. But if you're using some pieces that's got higher value to it, it's higher value in scrap, such as a metal or a piece of wood in terms of cutting, and you want to understand scrap and the cost of buying in sheets. Again, you want to understand the value and the cost to that overall order that you're giving to the customer. So again, Clever MES is a way of being able to control, update the shop floor, give them the information that they need, give the office and other people visibility of what's happening and when. Are they behind? Are they on time? Are they ahead of schedule? How does that impact scheduling for the rest of the week or the rest of the day? Do we need to try and fit something in before because there's an urgent order come in? Again, it's all very electronic, automated. The visibility is straight down to the shop floor. It's not pen and paper. Paper can get lost. Paper, the folder that runs through the production process to different people. Okay, does it get updated? What's people's handwriting like? By the time it gets back to the office, how long after the event are you updating that data and giving the information back to the system, back to the office, back to the customer service team, back to the sales team of what's available or not available? It's all a bit too late if it's manual and you're not updating until after the event. So before I touch on the warehouse management side, so going back to Clever MES, so you had a bit of a sneak peek there of what the solution looks like, the green screen, the big buttons, the information that's displayed to a user. Also, the common thing is not only are you outputting and telling the system what you're doing, is that a common thing is that there is also normally work instructions, how to do something. How do you put it together? How do you make it? What steps do you have to follow? And that comes with documentation. Now, again, what's the point in having a screen there that's saying output, no problem, do this, output this, what scrap have I had, start times, stop times, etc. And then having to still have a folder on the machine center, the bench, the packing line, wherever it is, to tell you how to go do it. So that's what the instructions are for. Embed it and then be able to just click on it and it loads it up for you. So from our perspective, it's all integrated, available as one, and you're reducing the need for paper. So that was Clever MES from a shop floor data capture point of view, if you're a manufacturer of any shape or form in a building materials business. Now on to the last part, which is warehouse management. So we talk a lot around kind of accurate stock, being up to date, having visibility, knowing where to go pick a product from if you need to go ship it out the door, or you need to go pick it for production to go and put it ready for an order to be made. So typical warehouse activities are such as these that's on the screen now. So how many of you are still doing that by paper? How many of you are doing it via a system that is not integrated to your main sales, finance, purchase, that system that you use at this moment in time? Or how many of you are using Dynamics now but are still reliant on paper pick sheets and you're not doing this electronically? Again, you need to be automated. It needs to be real time to make sure that the visibility is throughout the business of stock. But fundamentally, you are promoting accurate stock where possible. So the solution is an app. It's installed onto Android, so it's available in the Play Store. It connects directly into Business Central. You do the setup within Business Central as a core foundation from Dynamics. You then give a user a device with a login, and they then will see screens like this: receive, pick, search, and they will be able to carry out their activities on the device. So they will be able to go pick an order. They'll be able to go replenish a bulk from bulk into a pick face. They'll be able to go and do a stock check. They'll be able to go and do a stock take. They'll be able to go and do a bin inquiry. They will be able to go and do all the typical warehouse transactions that you do on a device. It is online. It connects obviously to Wi-Fi, and as soon as you do something on the device, it updates it back in the core system. It's real time. So the idea is that you should never be waiting on, oh, well, we don't know what the warehouse has done this morning. We don't know if the warehouse does have that or doesn't have that. We don't know if it's been receipted in yet, etc. So from our perspective, it's very much promoting real time and accurate stock levels and stock transactions. From our point of view as well, is if you were to use lot traceability on any of your products, it also will promote the use of lot tracking. So if you are selecting an item or picking an item that has lot tracking against it, you have to tell the system which lot number it is that you are using. It doesn't just say, oh, I'll guess that it's that one. So again, promoting accurate inventory. So again, a little tiny video just to give you an insight to how this works. So I get a login screen here. I log in. I have my options. I go into an inquiry or an internal. It says I can do a physical inventory count, or for example, I can go into receiving and I can go and receipt. If I was going to do an inquiry, I can do an item inquiry. I can click on the barcode. I can scan the barcode as per here. And it will show me that this item is currently in all of these locations. And I can use the toggle to find out more information of where this product is, how many is there, if it's a fixed bin, if it's someone just been put there as an overflow, etc. But you get the idea that it's very touch orientated. It's not designed to be using a keypad, and you should be able to just do virtually everything off touch, unless you were to ever have a scenario where you might need to type in a particular number, again using the keypad. But again, it's designed to be very friendly to use. So moving on. So we're approaching the end. What have we covered? We've covered EDI. So the importance of EDI now, automating it, reducing admin errors, reducing admin time. We've then talked about real-time visibility recently in terms of the shop floor data capture and warehouse management and accurate stock real time, and using a handheld device that's connected to Wi-Fi that updates the main system there and then. And then, of course, we've done product traceability. Product traceability, whether it's a lot number to manage quality, to manage batches, depends on what it is that you're making and sending out the door, and understand where the supply chain was involved and who was involved. But also from a warranty point of view, to add that USP to your offering, to give customers that peace of mind that your product comes with a 3-year warranty. If your product costs £25, £50 extra, but comes with a 3-year warranty compared to the competitor that doesn't have any warranty at all, most businesses will take that peace of mind and opt for the warranty. Again, it could be very similar product, but you're just offering a little bit more of a incentive for a small additional price that gives peace of mind not only to your customer, but to the end customer as well, because the warranty will typically get passed on in some shape or form. So again, it's a way of increasing value to your customers and potentially and hopefully increasing your revenue without having cost come back out of warranty claims. And fundamentally, the key here is the foundation to all of this is in Dynamics 365. It's in the Dynamics Building Materials solution, and it is all integrated. You're not going to go and manage inventory over here, production over here, sales over here, etc. It's all in one system that is hanging your business together. It's the foundation for your business. So to recap who we are. So I said my name is Jason, and I work with a number of our building materials businesses here at Techman. But Techman as a business, we're privately owned. We've been doing this for a long time. We're about to clock over and be in our 28th year of operation. And we've been doing ERP. We've solely focused on Dynamics from Microsoft and the Dynamics Building Materials solution for you guys. We've got the certifications from Microsoft, and from our point of view, we focus on specific industries like yourselves. That means that working with you guys constantly, day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out, we understand your buzzwords, we understand your industry, we understand your projects, we understand the specifiers, the contractors, the merchants, and how they all sit together in the world that you live in, and how your commercial transactions work. We understand that you might get a contract, you might have a varied demand depending on the work that you have and the project work that you have. You might just have runners that just get sold onto merchants that then just are sold out and bought by the likes of me and you on a weekend. It all depends, but we understand there's the variety of ways to market for you guys. So we understand you, and that's one of our key differentiators. And of course, we've got the previous experience with our existing customers that backs that up too. Just to recap, those are some of our customers. Hopefully, we'll speak to you soon. If you've got any questions, you'll be able to have my contact details after this webinar. Otherwise, thank you for attending, and all the very best.